screen for go. They're racing. He says go. He says ta-da. And Tiger Tara roars away from them on the home turn. Here comes another big boil over. Equine athleticism at its best. The king is in the castle once more. This is in one race. The rest are almost in another post. She is a star with a capital S. It's going to be a triple treat, a miracle three-peat. Ladies and gentlemen, you have witnessed history here at Menangle. What about that? It's getting right up on the sprint lane and it's going to bolt in.
Hello, welcome to a special edition of the Sprint Lane podcast. Paul Cochran with you. Hey, we're back after a little while in hiatus, I guess, for the Sprint Lane, but I can't think of a better time to bring back the show than in Eureka Week. I've got the racing manager at Club Menangle, David Watson, with me in the co-host chair. You've worn many hats on this show. This is a different one again. Welcome, mate.
Thanks, Paul. Yeah, I usually wear a lot of hats, especially in the hot weather out at Menangle. Got to protect the noggin.
What an exciting week. What an exciting week, but what a great day we've just had. So we are recording this show live from the Museum of Contemporary Art, right in the heartbeat of Sydney here in the Rocks, where we've just witnessed the barrier reveal. We've had an intimate little lounge setting show from Birds of Tokyo. We've had our ambassadors. It has been fantastic with people, I guess, in blue. We've talked about the Eureka for so long now. We've got signs of life. It's fantastic.
Isn't it good? The barrier draw, perfect backdrop, and I think a perfect barrier draw. Geez, it's going to create some interest.
Hasn't it created interest?
Already.
So let's go through it. So, I mean, the three big guns in the betting have been Leap to Fame, Catch a Wave and Captain Ravishing. Bang, 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 all on the outside.
Incredible.
Incredible how the marbles have fallen.
And we've already seen movement in the market from that barrier reveal. I think Leap to Fame was $1.70. He's moved out to $1.80. Catch a Wave being one inside him, which I know is all important. He's come in a couple of points, so it's amazing what that barrier draw's done.
Isn't it? And that's the vagaries of our sport too, isn't it? That we can see that volatility in a market based on a barrier draw. I think you're right. Perfect how it played out, the fact that we were able to get movement in market so early based on how the marbles fell.
Yeah, just incredible. Sometimes you do need the barrier draw to make a race, especially we've seen it with Miracle Miles and that, but you couldn't have scripted that better, especially with the 2-3-year-olds. You've got Captain Hammerhead in barrier 1, a Lost Storm will come into 2, and Cypher's in 3. Just amazing that those horses are side by side. Some of these horses, they'll never race against each other again. That's what's so great about this race.
It's brilliant, isn't it?
It's 2,400, it's so unique, but they will never ever race in this sort of capacity again. So what a great race for the inaugural running of the Eureka.
Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do, Wano. We're going to roll people through slot holders, participants, connections of horses and get some response. Now, I guess one horse that has been on the lips of everyone for the past week is Captain Ravishing. We've got the team from Team Zav here. G'day, guys. Thanks for being in Sydney. Thanks for being on our show. You're the first guests on the Sprint Lane podcast today. Well, apart from Wano, we're calling him a host today, though, not necessarily. Right, so reaction to the draw.
I was happy with the draw. I was really happy, it comes out of 7, once all the emergencies are out. The other two, like Catch a Wave and Leap to Fame, are on his outside, so he's got a lot of options, I'm just, I was more excited actually to see him go around actually yesterday in the trial, and he actually showed what he can do as a racehorse, he's very fast. The camp, talking to Ahmed, very happy with the horse, so all fingers crossed, yeah.
Look, Danny, a lot of people have had opinions about this horse, and I know it could have been frustrating to yourself and to Ahmed, but all along, Ahmed's been really confident, you've been really confident. It was just speculation from people that weren't informed of what was happening. And when you're seeing that result yesterday with the trial and Captain Ravishing, what we know he can do, it must have been very satisfying to put all those doubters to bed.
Well, it was, because all the talk's been about that horse,
hasn't it?
He was favourite.
Yeah.
He was favourite early. I really went out on a limb, lost my kidney over him to try and secure the horse. But no, look, we got the horse early, and I still believe that the horse is the best horse I've actually seen in my time in the sport. Go around, what he done.
He's got freakish speed,
Yep.
and I know it's 2,400,
Yep.
but in a race like this, you're going to need freakish speed at some stage.
Yeah, I know he's first up and all that, and there's a lot of talk and all that, but I still believe if he gets a right run, they'll know he's there, you know.
So you can dispel the myth. The horse isn't battling. There's been... What do you believe? There's been urban myth 101 for the last week about this horse, but it seems like these stories seem to have followed your horse no matter where he's gone.
From the beginning, from the absolute beginning. So, yeah, we did go early. The stories have been out there. Are we doing the right thing? Why isn't he starting? But, you know, the team knew what they were doing from the start. They got him up here. They've climatised him. They've trialled him. He's had a hit out against, his our other horse About Time. He did fabulous, and it was great to see him. Had him down in Geelong. He had his, hit out in Melton. So he's definitely had some of those good runs, and we've seen some fantastic times.
What I've seen too, I think he's come up here a lot earlier. Like there was a little bit of conjecture when he come up with the Chariots and the Miracle Mile about him settling in. He probably didn't settle because he was only here a couple of days before. He's had really a lot of time now to acclimatise. He's been at the track. He hasn't had to be the travelling in the float for the 8 hours and stuff like that. He's been able to settle in. And I think you've seen the improvement from his trial last Wednesday to Tuesday just gone yesterday. Being able to acclimatise and be in the surrounds, he just seemed a lot different horse. He was a lot more relaxed, but he still had that brilliant speed.
Yeah.
100%. I was just going to say that people seem to forget he's a very good first-up horse. So not having a race run, I don't think it's going to affect him one bit. I think that we're going to see, when he races fresh, he's very good. So,
And the way he's going to have to race too, I think you've got the right pilot too. Greg Sugars. He sort of reminds me a little bit of Gavin Lang, just cool. Yeah, nothing really phases him. Nice hands, soft hands, and I think that'll play to his favour in this race because there's a couple of egos in the race, Leap to Fame, Catch a Wave,
I know.
which is great, and that's the theatre of the race, and that's what this race has been able to bring. So there's a couple of egos, so I don't think there's going to be any cheap quarters, which is going to suit Captain Ravishing in the run either.
Greg's a world-class driver, so when they said that they were going to have him on board, I was really excited, because he actually knows how to drive in the big races, and so
he dominated Europe with the trotters. So
there you go, and look, his record speaks for itself.
The big question mark, though, can Captain Ravishing do it at Menangle? Because this is the question mark around Captain Ravishing that many people have got. What do you guys think?
I think he can, yeah. I think, if you, he's had the 2 runs there, had the Chariots and the Miracle Mile. Well, the Chariots, he comes second at a Catch a Wave, who was flying at the time, and obviously that was his first start at Menangle. Some horses can be found a little bit wanting, but I still thought his run in the Chariots, it was super. In the Miracle Mile, he had to come from well back. He was always going to be hard. Even Lazarus couldn't do it, So when you look, I think his form's really good, and I think, I honestly think that we can win it.
Yeah, I love your confidence.
Your wife's here, and it's great. I know you love a bet. You like those odds.
I love the odds. I'm already on.
What are we saying?
I'm already on at better odds. But anyway,
what are we saying at the moment?
$17. He got out to about.
Got out at the 17. Yep. I got on roughly at 15, so I'm happy with that.
There's a double up now. There's a double up.
Well, guys, we wish you every luck. It's great to see you back in Sydney. We love this horse. We love watching him on TV. Can't wait to see him up close and personal again. And I really hope we see the best of Captain Ravishing on Saturday night for you and for racing fans, because Captain Ravishing at his best is a pure delight for a racing fan to experience. I think.
That's fantastic. We look the horse flesh on the night is just going to be fantastic. There's all good horses in that race, all deservedly.
Happy days. Well, good luck, guys. Thank you for being here. Hey, Wano, look, Captain Ravishing, probably the X factor in the race to some extent. And again, I think what I just said there is right. We don't know what we're going to get, and that's what's exciting about Captain Ravishing.
You've got to have an X factor in these big races, and that's what he provides.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. The one of the horses that was signed up very early for the Eureka was Catch a Wave, coming in just in impeccable form. Can't do much more. Proven at Menangle. Daniel Cordone is the slot holder. Daniel, I reckon you're pretty happy with the horse you've got on your hands.
Oh, mate, I'm over the moon. I think we got a very good barrier. I think barrier 8 gives us a lot of options. But I think he'll go forward and let everyone try and beat him.
Now,
So
Paul,
what were you hoping for? Just on the barrier, what were you hoping for before the number came out?
6, 7 or 8.
Yep. So you got kind of what you were hoping for. And,
yeah.
Yep.
Now, I've got to be a little bit careful on my questions here because I am the racing manager of Club Menangle and Daniel Cordina is on the board, so I'm going to be really careful. But Daniel, it was a really strategic move to get that horse before those feature events, those four-year-old feature events earlier in the year. So you've got to remember, Cordina Racing got Catch a Wave before the Chariots and before the Miracle Mile. It must have been so enforcing when he come out, won the Chariots so dominating, but then even more so, dominated what was a great field in the Miracle Mile. Whatever the offers were, it must have been going your way a lot better after those races.
Well, we we looked at the races more so when we got the slot, and I asked Andrew Kelly what horses, excuse me, what horses you think is available, you know. He said Captain Ravishing, Leap to Fame, Catch a Wave and things like that. So I thought, oh, well, Leap to Fame is gone.
Pretty hard to get him.
Well, I was...
The owner's a slot holder.
I was cheeky enough to ring up Grant and see if he was available. So
and it's not really worth offering him 100% of the prize money for you, is it?
That's exactly right. So it was just I knew he was gone.
Just for a laugh anyway, may as well make the call.
Yeah. Then I rang up Huss Tabor about Captain Ravishing after he won the Vic Bred. I think he won by about 20 odd metres, and my brother rang me up and said, "Get him." So anyway, he said, "Oh, he's got his options open and blah 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 and blah blah blah." So I left it at that, and then in the meantime I rang up Andy Gath and I couldn't get him, and he sent a message with Robbie Morris when he was down there that Andy wanted to talk to me. So I rang him up, and he said, "Yeah, we're keen to go with Catch a Wave." You know, so
good guess.
I said, and that was back in October, November. So we basically had him back in October.
Yeah.
Yes.
And look, and Andy was pretty upset at the time because he thought he deserved like that X Factor invite into the Hunter Cup.
Yeah.
And even though he hadn't had a lot of racing before
That's
that,
right.
he was a bit upset about missing that run. So that would have been even forcing because the Hunter Cup over the longer distance gives you some confidence going into the 2400.
Well, he wanted it. He said to me, he wanted to go into the Hunter Cup as a 3-year-old. So I thought, I said, is he up to it? And he said, yeah. He said, I'm quite happy to put him in. So
he's a quality animal.
Yeah, very quality. And anyway, when he come and won out, when he come out and won the Chariots, I thought, no, well, this is good. And I thought my $17 was looking good. And
it is now.
And then when he won the Miracle Mile, I said, my $17 is even looking better. So,
I don't think you'll get that now.
Oh, yeah.
So what can you tell us about how the horse is going? I mean, you're going to have probably better, comms with, with Andy and Kate Gath around how Catch a Wave's going.
To be quite honest, I'm not the one to go and ring him up every 5 minutes and say how the horse is going. I've rang him up probably about 2 or 3 times in the last month just to see how the horse is ticking over. The horse is ticking over very well. He was very happy with the when he runs second down in that free-for-all in Melbourne. He was still happy with the run. He probably kicking himself because he just wasn't 100, wasn't wound up enough.
But how good was he in that?
Oh, but in
the free-for-all,
in that free-for-all, he was super. And then apparently he gave him a trial last week on, was it Tuesday?
He trialled yesterday.
Yep. And I believe he went sensational.
Sat last. He was about 6 or 7 lengths off him. The leaders got home in about 53, 54 seconds, so he's probably looking at something like a 52 and a half, 53
and he won the trial,
so
I believe.
He looked really good.
Yeah,
in that trial.
I haven't seen the trial. I tried to find it yesterday, but I couldn't find it, so I'll have a look again today.
He'll be wound up for Saturday.
Yeah, and look, And he's no mug. He knows how to put a horse in a race, and he knows how to prepare a horse.
He's a Group 1 trainer at multiple levels.
And I think you got a very underrated driver in Kate Gaff too, and one of the nicest people on the planet too.
She's not underrated. She's a great driver. She's a very
There's
very
an iconic shot of Kate when she won the Miracle Mile. She's smiling about 20 metres before the pace. And it's fantastic.
It's great.
She knew what it was about.
It's fantastic. Well, Daniel, best of luck on Saturday night. It's going to be fantastic to see Catch a Wave go around. Obviously, a proven established horse at Menangle that many of these contenders in this race can't say.
He's not an established horse. He's a Chariots Fire Miracle
Exactly.
Mile winner.
Yeah. So
and not only that, he can run 2,400 metres on his ear.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I love it.
That's the good part about it.
Good luck, Daniel.
Okay, thank you.
Go well Saturday night. Wano, I think we talked about Captain Ravishing being probably the X factor that maybe we don't know what we're going to get out of a horse. To me, Catch a Wave feels like the one we can sort of bank on in a way. Like, there's a reliability.
Earlier, Paul, there's two egos in this race. There's huge egos, and they're horses 12 and 13.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. So, I think that's what's exciting about this race. It's the unpredictability. Hey, one man Wayne and Julie Loader had a slot locked in and made a commitment to picking a horse from the Western region, given away a percentage of that through a race book incentive scheme through the Western region across different race meetings, and stuck true to the commitment to get a horse from the Western region. Just so happens to be one that you own. G'day, Wayne.
Hey, how we going?
Good, mate. We've been trying to talk to you about the Eureka, and now we're in the same room. It's fantastic. Look, Rip probably, we don't know what we're going to get. Has trialled okay, and then in race conditions has probably been indifferent. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, for sure. We obviously had a bit of a check of preparation with him being injured a couple of months ago. Threw a bit of a spanner in the works, and to the extent where we weren't sure he was going to make it or not. But since then, he's come back. He's, as you say, worked good, trial good. His couple of race starts on the face of things mightn't have looked quite good, but he did what he had to do in those races. There was excuses, I suppose, in certain ways, but we're happy where he's at now anyway, and
Wayne,
we're in the race. So
Wayne, talking to Doug too, like 2 starts ago, he really found the line hard. I think he said about 3 fence, hit the line really hard. The other night he led, and Doug has said this, the horse gets out in front and sort of has a bit of a gaze. It's a long straight at Menangle. He's got plenty to gaze at. There's screens, there's everything that's happening, there's the lights, and he switched off a little bit last start because when the horse come back, his heart rate was still fantastic, like he hadn't have gone round.
Yeah.
Look, and to be honest, he'd had a lot of time off. He'd been injured. He'd been in a paddock that I'd probably been in when we put a few kgs on, which he had. He's had those 3 runs now and a couple of trials. One thing is that the commitment and support that Doug's shown this horse has been unwavering.
Yeah.
And he gave you confidence the other night where a lot of people mightn't have, but his confidence in the horse was unwavering with you and everyone else after the last week's run. And he said you'll see the real Rip coming up this Saturday night.
Oh, for sure. And Dougie knows him better than anyone else. He's done all his work basically since he come from the yearling sale, so he knows him inside out. He knows what his mannerisms are, how he's feeling. And, as you say, he was happy that the way he hit the line 2 starts ago was perfect, and last start, so we had the excuse of being out in the front and getting a bit lost for it because he's still relatively lightly raced horse and an experienced horse and that sort of stuff. So, that wasn't a big concern, and he's certainly not going to be leading on Saturday night.
That's another thing. I'm not preempting anything. He won't be in front this week. He'll be following a speed. There'll be no cheap speed, and we've said this a few times.
Watch out for the sweeper.
There will be no cheap speed in this race.
Exactly.
Like from the 1200, they're going to be motoring. It's going to be, I suppose, last man standing in that straight. And this horse has done it before at Menangle. He loves that long straight. He's come from behind one of those big races. He's one of those horses that will be standing up at the end.
Yeah, that's right. And so probably his most notable run in his career was the second in the Derby, Victoria last year, where he come from a long way back. It
was an amazing run because he drew barrier 13 or something.
Yeah, he was way out the back and looked like no chance, but hit the line super. And
over the longer distance.
So all that points towards hopefully a good show.
We've got a lot to get to. Just the story. Dougie Hewitt was responsible for picking the horse out at the yearling sales. What's the story there?
No, Bernie and I went to the sales and picked him out. I sort of picked him out by the book to start with, and then looking at him, he was that impressive. We just had to have him. And but when he came home and they got off the float at Bernie's place, Dougie took a shine at him straight away, and he said, he's mine, I'll look after him. So
he's had a few setbacks in his career though, hasn't he?
He has. He missed all his 2-year-old season basically. Had one start and then slashed a tendon and was out for 12 months. And so yeah, he's had a pretty rough run. He had the broken bone this year, so he's had a rough couple of years, and I think he deserves his shot.
Mate, I know what he feels like. Broken tendons and bones and stuff.
We've all been there,
football career.
All been there. Mate, best of luck. It's fantastic that, as I said when we introduced you, you made a commitment to Western Region horses. You've stuck true to that. It's going to be fantastic to see one come out of racing heartland for us here in harness racing in New South Wales. Good luck to you and Julie, mate. And your commitment to harness racing, particularly in the Western region, is unmatched. Yeah. And go well, mate. We're really excited to see how you go on Saturday night.
Cheers. We're really looking forward to it.
Good on you. Wayne. Good on you, Wayne. Hey, my ultimate Ronnie's a horse that we saw burst onto the scene as a young horse. With so much talk about my ultimate Byron at the time, but we said my ultimate Ronnie's the one at 3 and 4 is going to be the better.
I think Jared had a bigger opinion going forward of Ronnie than he did of Byron at the time, and he said that.
I'll tell you what, the man who's going to be the pilot for my ultimate Ronnie is with us now, Cameron Hart. G'day, mate.
Morning, guys.
Mate, what's your thoughts on that draw? Because that's tough.
Yeah, it's not ideal, that's for sure, but, it's only a starting position, as they say, and, we just got to probably only drive him one way now, drive for some luck, and, hope there's a brutal tempo early to bring us into the race.
I know this is historic, Paul. There's a historic story with Steve Turnbull and Smooth Satin when he won the Inter Dominion at Harold Park. It was the barrier draw was done, and back then there was 12 horses in the race. It was 7 across the front, 5 off the second line. He drew the outside of the second line. What it did for Steve, and he said that, it took all the pressure off him in the race because he didn't have to make decisions. He just, how the race panned out is how the race panned out. That could be a little bit with Ronnie. Like, all the pressure's off now. You're just going to follow these. And I've said this a couple of times. There's some egos in the race. There's going to be some speed in the race. Your Leap to Fame's catch a waves. They're not going to give anything to each other. Sometimes all that pressure's off. You're just sitting behind them. This horse can hit the line hard, getting a trail up somewhere along the race, especially if they're running a 52-mile rate over 2,400. There's going to be a lot of tired legs coming up that long Menangle straight, and no one knows it better than you.
Yeah, without a doubt, Wano. I think that's the way we've got to look at it for sure. Like you said, don't use him early. Hope that they all get into a bit of a war together, which it sort of looks likely now that they've all, 3 of the big guns are drawn wide. So they're going to have to do a little bit of work to get forward, and that's going to be our advantage. I think, our last 400 metres is going to be our best for sure, and hopefully a few of the others it's not.
Cam, just a real quick question. You get a lot of family support and a lot of friend support when you come to Menangle. What does it mean to be driving in the world's richest harness race?
Oh, it just feels amazing, to be honest. Coming from a little town in the Riverina to moved to the city about 6 years ago, and now for us to have the local race, $2 million, it's incredible. And, it's not just Australia that's going to be watching this. I'm sure this is all over the world. So, just cannot wait to be part of it.
Joe, going to let someone else look after the Wagga Galloping track for a couple of days?
Yeah, it takes a race like this probably to have a couple of days off for him. So, he's definitely going to be here.
How good's that?
Yeah,
and here you are, Harbour City, overlooking the Opera House, the Harbour Bridge. It's a fantastic setting, and I'm really appreciate if you got here because it's a pretty hard place to get to.
Oh, it is. It's a big effort. Mate, you've done just about everything over the last, certainly 2 years, but the 12 months has just been fantastic. What would it mean to add TAB Eureka to your CV?
Oh, definitely. It'd mean the world to, obviously, not just myself, but Jared Olchin. He's been a very hard worker in the industry for, 10 or 15 years now in Menangle Park. So
Tumby's been a big support of his as well.
Yep.
Rob Watson got onto this horse pretty early too. He was picked out earlier in the year after, I think it was his 4-year-old APG final win. So he got onto him pretty early as well. So he's seen the potential in the horse.
Yeah, 100%. He's always been a great horse, and he's never run a bad race. So hopefully Saturday he can bring his best.
Yeah, all right, good on you, Camp. Go well, mate. Good luck from out there in the bleachers.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, mate.
The race. Hey, so much talk about Captain Ravishing, Wano. But I reckon his trainer's going to know a bit better than us, mate.
Oh, look, we've had Danny on earlier, and he was so enthusiastic, especially after what's happened with the horse the last couple of days. But I've been speaking to Armour, who we've got here now. His confidence has been unwavering as well in the horse, and it's just nice to put those doubters to bed, isn't it, Armin?
Yeah, well, all those questions will be answered come Saturday night. Look, I'm just, words can't describe. I'm actually really wrapped to be part of it. It's been a bit of a journey, but Team Zav's been behind me. They've supported myself, the family, the horse. They've always had belief in the horse, and that's the main thing. So we set out a plan just after the Miracle Mile. Obviously the Eureka was the main target, so we thought, we had to get the preparation right. So we needed to obviously give him that bit of time to fully recover after the Miracle Mile and the Chariots. He showed visible signs there that he was screaming for the paddock. So we thought we would, really just give him that time and have belief that he'll come to hand very quickly. And, I've done it before, so we've got confidence in the horse. He doesn't need that, hard racing like obviously some of our competitors have had. He's by Captain Treacherous, who's...
Yeah, he ticks a few boxes there, doesn't he?
Well, if you speak to everybody in America, they all say the same thing about the Captain Treacherous. They don't need that hard training. So, I've kept that in mind, and I've...
You know what I like about this build-up too, and like the conversations we're having now and the conversations that have been happening, it's a bit like a boxing promo, isn't it? It's sort of, he hasn't had a fight for 12 months, is he or isn't he right? You've got certain sides saying he is or he isn't. But that's what this race has created. No other race would do that. This theatre that's been created, and as I said, it's like a boxing promo.
Yeah. Oh.
You're the trainer, you've got your boxer beside you, no one's seen you for the last 12 months, but just quietly behind the scenes, you've been punching the bag hard, the horse is ready, he's hard. No one knows that until we'll see it on Saturday night.
Well, Wano, it's a bit like the Rocky movies.
Isn't it good?
We've been, climbing those stairs, we've been running through the snow. He's a very fast horse and he's an exciting machine. I think, as we saw yesterday, that last final hit out at Menangle, he's exactly where I want him.
Yeah. One last question for you, mate, because we're about to get kicked out of this room. This is expensive real estate. Can he do it at Menangle, mate? That's the question everyone's got for Captain Ravishing.
Absolutely.
All right, that's confidence there, Wano.
Sounds good.
That's confidence right there. Go well, Ahmed.
Thank you.
Yep. Hey, fashion, big deal at this thing, Wano. You and I are a long way removed from that.
I've been good with the horse questions. I am totally out of my comfort zone now. We're talking about fashion.
I'll tell you, he's not. Grace Hayden. G'day, Gracie.
Hello, boys. I think you look pretty good today.
Ambassador
Dressed up
here to show us how it's done. And we had to get a Queenslander in, to show us how it's done, Wano.
Of course. Just got to mix it up a little bit. Queensland spirit. It's important.
Just a reminder where I'm from, Wano. Yeah. Representing Flying the Blues flag. Great to have you on board. What are we looking for? Fashion's on the field.
I think it's all about being a little bit creative, but I'm all for having your own individual flair. So today I had pearls with me, being a beach girl. Love my pearls. So had to tie that into my outfit today. But yeah, just being yourself, but then also obviously tying in those spring trends. That's what I'm looking for. But it'll be a great night. I mean, there's $2,000 up for grabs for both the female and male first prize winners, and then there's lots of other fun
Am I a chance of getting off the track at some stage? I'll have to talk to Bruce and the board. If I
have
can
to do
just
something
get off
about
the
your
track,
hair.
I have to do something about my hair, but if I can just get off the track for
And
a little
walk the
while
runway?
and get over to the marquee.
You should, definitely.
And put a
Start
nomination
your stuff.
Yeah, I'll do my best. I always do my best.
Well, certainly bringing fashion, glamour, ticking all the boxes. But Gracie, you got a horse that means a lot to you guys, because the qualifier out of Racing Queensland came out of the Hayden, of course.
Speak the truth.
Yes, Speak the Truth. Named after your family, particularly your dad, cricket legend, Matty. So a soft spot for Speak the Truth.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's such an honour for my family to have a race named after us, and, my dad's foundation, obviously Shoreline Foundation, so it'd be a big deal if Speak the Truth could get up on the day, but I've heard Leap to Fame is also one of
Queenslanders.
Very good.
Well, I've got to go for a Queensland horse.
Of course.
Yeah.
And Speak the Truth is a really, really, really top-line horse. He's raced in a lot of good races, had a lot of good battles, and he's just been behind him, but I think he's just coming into his prime right now. And it's really good because trained by Shannon Price, the Price name synonymous with harness racing in Queensland, it would be a great result.
So many great storylines through this race, Wano. Grace, fantastic to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, boys.
You did an amazing job there on the barrier reveal. Gave us a little insight and little few pointers, Wano. That's what we need.
Yeah,
particularly us blokes.
I'm going to get past that marquee at some stage. Put me number up.
Do it.
Okay.
I'll be
Enjoy your
looking forward
stay
to
in
seeing you
Sydney. Can't wait to see you on Saturday night.
Thanks, boys.
Thanks, Grace.
We've been fanboying a little bit. Birds of Tokyo have been here. They gave us 3 songs.
There was a few head nodders in there. Hey, there was a few head nodders. I haven't seen head nod before.
They're going to take it. They're going to ramp it up and take it next level on Saturday night. Now, how do people get there? They've got to go online, Club and Angle. There's still tickets. You can still get a ticket.
Oh, look, at restaurants sold out. Tanya Harris Marquee sold out. We've still got 1 or 2 tickets in the Lawn Marquee party. It's all inclusive. That's a beverage and food package. That's going to be really exciting because it's actually located right beside the stage. So prime spot, the racing finishes, you turn around, there's the Birds of Tokyo concert. It's going to be fantastic.
It's going to be unbelievable. The biggest night in harness racing that we have seen in a long, long time. It's the inaugural TAB Eureka. Of course, Sky One, Sky Racing Active, and of course, Sky Thoroughbred Central.
We're all over it.
Yep. Saturation coverage, you cannot miss it, but the best place to be is get to the track if you can. You've got to get on the Club and Angle website, register for a ticket. Make sure you don't miss out on the chance to witness history right in front of us. The field is sorted. Gracie just told us the fashions is sorted. We've seen firsthand that the music is sorted. Wano, let's get it on.
Absolutely. Thanks, Paul.
Can't wait. All right. Thank you for tolerating this revolving door of guests in this special episode of the Sprint Lane podcast. It's been wonderful back on the microphone to talk about harness racing and this great event that we've got coming up. Saturday night, TAB Eureka. Don't miss it.